Warning, this video is intended for adult collectors. It contains plastic collectibles, questionable opinions, and the guy that wrote too many of these intros. You have been warned. This is Random Review.
Before we begin, thank you very much to Ryan G for being one of my newest patrons over at patreon.com/TJOmega. For a very small amount a month, he is helping to keep the channel alive, thrive, and keep the content coming. And I'm really trying to get the content out these days. So thank you very much. You guys keep me going. And let's keep going now, because on the review stage, we have a really random toy, but one is incredibly important to me because we're talking about my favorite Beast Wars toy, and the toy that got me re-interested in Transformers when they betrayed me by going to animals. Yeah, I was one of those. I got over it, okay? But yeah, I loved the robotic beasts of the Transmetals, so we are going to talk my favorite one. But it is not Beast Wars Transmetals Megatron, it is Beast Wars Metals Megatron. We are talking the Takara version of my favorite toy from Beast Wars. And ooh, it is so lovely. So, we are looking at a mechanical T-Rex with this very nice copper plastic and transmetal, vac metal purple in very nicely located parts. It just looks beautiful. I love the look of this toy. Now, I do have a little bit of wear on mine, so we're going to just kind of ignore that. But, oh yeah, I absolutely love it. So, if you haven't known, Transmetals, yeah, they really love their vac metal. And I will say, it was hit and miss whether or not they actually managed to keep it over the years. This one did a nice job. He doesn't really have much of a problem from what I've heard. So, the difference from the US version, obviously we have this really rich copper plastic as opposed to the more metallic brown or bronze that we had on the original. Let me just pull in the original so you can actually tell. It is quite the stark difference. Hasbro and Takara had very different ideas for what was show-accurate brown, where Megatron spent a lot of time in the dark and looked like this, but in the broad daylight episodes, yeah, this is a little bit more accurate. We'll get to the inaccurate parts of the Hasbro release here in a bit. For now, let's focus on this lovely thing. So beyond all of those color differences, we also see a color difference here in the tail where the gray is not metallic like it is on the original. It's kind of just a flat gray. It's the only flat color on this whole thing, by the way. We're also going to see little trace elements of silver transmetal here on the legs and up here on the T-Rex shoulders. Yeah, it's a little bit of a nice touch. Like it's kind of like a Megatron thing, right? It's like, I need two colors of transmetal. Not good enough for one. It is a little bit easier to wear off, though, because they're smaller parts, so buyer beware. Yeah, so absolutely love this. For actual, like, play value on this toy, mouth opens and closes. Always a good thing. The arms, little tiny T-Rex arms, move up and down. A little bit of posability there. Nothing really in the range of hips, but you do have the knee bend from robot mode that still works if you can make it work for a pose. And then plenty of articulation here in the tail. Every segment is a ball joint, so you have tons of rotation and bending possibilities. And if you want to clamp your enemies, you can do that too. Lots of play value here. So, another detail that I need to point out. Destron. So, for whatever reason, in Takara's world of Transformer toys, they decided not to put the name of a character on the Transmetals, but to stamp the faction on there, even though the symbol is supposed to tell the faction. I kind of prefer the US method. We'll see if we can get to Megatrons here. I don't think I can. Oh wait, right there. Right there. Focus. Yeah. Just straight up Megatron. Which I think was nice for kids because it meant you didn't forget the name of the toy. So, with that out of the way, I love the beast mode. Can it get better? Well, maybe a little bit. So, we can fold up these panels here, which will give him the basic look of the flight mode. And then we pop out the funniest part of this toy, rollerblades. This toy was made in the 90s. So this was his vehicle mode because Transmetals had vehicle modes, even though it's no kind of vehicle. It's not exactly a Harrier jet, is he? But yeah, this was the flight mode he had in the show, so we're going to go with it. Nice enough. The VTOL fans actually do spin. On my copy, this one's a little bit loose. I don't know if that's just a production problem or if that's just with age. It could be either or. This is a toy from 1997 after all. We also find an old-fashioned rub symbol. Now, I feel like the whole point of a rub symbol is not to reveal the faction and the loyalty of a particular toy. I think it goes out the window when you just print it right on top of them. But we can at least give it a rub and see what the old faction symbols look like through that. There's a nice Predacon logo through the color-changing ink. Still works after all these years. Absolutely beautiful. That's such a nice little retro thing. You don't see it anymore, and when you do, it doesn't work as well as it used to. So for the transformation, I'm going to fold these down and then fold the feet back down because, well, Megatron kind of needs actual feet. Starting the transformation, we need to rip off the tail. So unclip it from the top and then just kind of shimmy it off of the hinge. I kind of just want to get this part out of the way. You know what? No. Because I feel like I'm not going to be able to do it because I'm holding the toy at a weird angle I'm not used to. Otherwise, I'd just kind of yank the thing off. But we'll go ahead and open up the butt of the toy, for lack of better terminology. Raise those up, and now we have very clear access to the tail. This always kind of makes me iffy. Anytime I have to pull a hinge off for part of a transformation, I get just a little bit sketchy about it. It's a little bit uncomfortable. All right, so unfold that. Now, unclip the T-Rex head. Pull the neck out just a little bit. It's on a double hinge. T-Rex arms get folded up so we can split the back and have room to move them up a little bit. We're going to have to start shimmying things around here. It's a little bit involved at this point. So I need this to get out of the way. I need to raise these parts up completely. That is going to let me fold the arms out from the center mass of the T-Rex. And then, here, I need to get the T-Rex arms in a proper position. Then the T-Rex head has to... Yeah, I just realized you can't see that. I apologize. T-Rex arms, proper position, right here. And then fold the T-Rex head into the back. Nicely tucked away. This is a weird part, so need to move all of this around. It's a waist spin of 180 degrees, but we also have this section, which you can hang off on either side, so I'm going to go for his right hip. Go ahead and adjust the arms so those are in the proper position, and then this clip into this spot of the neck. Is a nice way of making sure you've got everything properly aligned from all of the waist joints as well as where the T-Rex head goes. So you can move those to suit your taste however you want. But that, my friends, is going to be the robot mode. Still really like the transformation on this toy. I do think it is one of the more fun ones in the Transmetals, and creates a very nice image. This was always my favorite design of Beast Wars Megatron. I feel like it has this nice feel of power and authority to it. I like the huge shoulders. I like the sunken in fake T-Rex head. I just really like the look of it overall. Absolutely beautifully designed toy. So let me get to the head sculpt. Yes, that is Grape Face as we know and love. This is a little bit different from the US Deco for a couple reasons. Number one, red eyes instead of orange, which is a nice little touch and much preferred. The big thing you're going to notice is the new color plastic that we have introduced with this transformation, and that is the black, and that is the whole key to this figure. I'll bring back the original Transmetal Megatron so you can get a comparison. The color here that we are worried about, and the reason I have never reviewed this toy before, is not the metallic that you expect. It's not a GPS toy. What it is a toy that uses a very cheap brown plastic, and combined with that weird waist engineering with all its extra swivels, that makes it very fragile and very prone to breaking at the waist. And just about all of the brown plastic is prone to breakage, so it is a toy I've not been able to handle. And of course, it's my favorite one from Beast Wars, so ugh. But yeah, that is why I haven't reviewed it and why I don't really touch that toy anymore, because it will break on me. The black plastic on this version has absolutely no issue whatsoever, and the copper plastic is not GPS prone. This one survives the test of time. And if you look at the eBay prices, that it shows it. But yeah, I absolutely love this thing. I'll go look at the other details besides the head. That sunken in, that painted on T-Rex vestige, that's such a cool detail. Kind of gives you the look that it really is in there, or like it folded all the way through his body. You know, a lot of the details are kept from the beast mode. One thing about Transmetals is they kind of inverted. Like, we kind of think of them as robotic Beast Wars characters, but they inverted where the organic and mechanical elements were. So you see very like realistic musculature to Megatron's legs there. You see actual like muscle lines on his arms. You know, it gives a much more like natural appearance in the robot mode parts, or at least the parts that are strictly robot mode. I'm not so much a fan of that, but then again, on this particular mold, he doesn't do that nearly as much as others like Cheetor and Primal do. So I'm actually quite happy with the overall aesthetic on this guy. So articulation-wise, the head does rotate. It's very tight on mine, but trust me, it does rotate. Take my word for it. Ball joints in the shoulders, which give you plenty of range. Now, of course, the big shoulder guards are going to get in the way quite a bit. Bicep Swivel works all the way around. Because of the transformation, we get completely 180-degree elbow bend. Does kind of leave a floaty elbow effect if you put it in the wrong position, unfortunately. The waist articulation is locked, unfortunately, thanks to the transformation. If you really want the waist to move, you have to break the transformation here, but then you have to rely on friction to hold this up. So mileage may vary on that. You get a little bit of interesting articulation here. You get the outward swivel, the outward hinge, and then a little bit of a ratchet joint to go forward and back. It's actually kind of a weird choice, but it makes the beast mode a little bit more secure. We have a swivel just above the knee, and then 90 degrees at the knee joint as well. Absolutely lovely level of articulation for Beast Wars and a very solid figure. Now, we can have a little bit of fun with it. Unfortunately, you can't reposition the hovers the way they did with the animation. They cheated that one a little bit. So you can't like rotate these up and have him fly on those in robot mode. You can still flip these out and have Megatron on roller skates, because that's a thing he actually did. The animators went weird on that one too, but at least he actually could do it. But then we are leaving out the most important part. We are leaving out his actual weapon, the replacement for the arm cannon. So this was kind of like a laser weapon in the show. But, you know, the Transmetal ideal is all melee weapons. So this was supposed to be just like some big, long, like grabber claw. So, yeah, it works pretty well. It has a nice amount of friction here in the claw itself. I wish it had more friction here in the hinge of the handle, because this thing just kind of likes to flop around a little bit. So you kind of have to adjust it in just the right way in order to get it to stay put. But you can with a little bit of practice. Unfortunately, the ball joints can wear out with you on age. So yeah, there's a few bits of physics here you're fighting. It is a very old toy at this point. But that, my friends, is Metal's Megatron. Don't sag now. We're just at the end of the review. Luckily, that's all we have to say here. It is a fantastic toy. I still really love it. It feels very solid, and I still absolutely love the design and transformation of it. The Metals version is stupid expensive. I don't even want to admit how much I paid for mine, but you know what? I'm just happy I get to reunite with a toy that I technically never lost, but at least this one I can play with and enjoy without the fear of breakage. My only regret here is that somewhere between the plastic of the black plastic of the metals version and the brown metallic plastic of the Transmetal, there is a perfect Beast Wars Megatron that exists that I do not have the guts to attempt to make, but it is at the very least it's possible. So I don't know, hope for a reissue someday. Yeah, it's about the only thing I got, but I don't know. I really hope we see this design again soon. I miss it.